And there came a day unlike. Wait, no, that's been done. Who knows what evil lurks in. No, that is that other thing. What has yellow skin and rights? Ah, forget it. You're listening to Panelology. Excelsi, oh damn it.
Welcome to episode 220 of Panelology. I'm Alex.
And I'm Brian.
How you doing this week, Brian?
Okay. Work was a lot this week. Still going on, but dealing.
Yeah.
So
I know that feeling very well.
yeah.
We, as is the norm in the carpet industry, took the week of the 4th off for most staff. And that's not something we normally do. We're normally actually kicking back into our busy season than usually. But in doing so, we discovered that our processes aren't meant for just 3 people in the entire company, which doesn't seem like a big red flag to me,
I was
frankly.
going to say, does that seem like that's a problem, or just like, yeah, duh?
Well, it has created a sense of urgency in some. And I think there are valid points, perhaps in there, about cross-training in our current national situation, that maybe
Yes.
we want to up some cross-training in case we see ourselves with people out sick.
Yes.
I think there's some wisdom in that, and I've just tried to steer us in that direction and away from let's rebuild all of our processes so 3 people can run the entire operation, because that will never happen.
I was going to say, well, you would think if you could have done that, you'd have done that to save money anyway, right? I mean, in a general like business analytics type situation, not
All
from
I will
what
say,
you would actually do. Yeah.
All I will say in response to that is the carpet industry is even weirder than the comics industry.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
All of which is to say, yeah, I get the weird, stressful work stuff right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I had an uncle who was in the carpet industry for his whole career. Yeah.
And probably stranger for it.
Yeah. Could be.
Well, let's get into comics.
All right, let's do it.
Start with Dark Knights Death Metal number 2. I'm going to go ahead and say this one. I don't know how to talk about this issue at all without spoiling number 1.
Yeah, no, like there's definitely, this is one of those comics that you can't talk about without spoiling what's going on in the issues. Yeah.
I think the one thing you can say, which will perhaps explain why we can't talk about 2 without spoiling 1, is an incredible amount seems to happen off panel in this book.
Yeah, and here's the thing, this is what probably is surprising the most to me. Like, I actually even thought about this week as I was reading this, is there's so much that happens off panel. It is utterly shocking to me, this being one of the big 2 books, obviously a DC book, that they didn't come out with a whole bunch of one-shots to show what that was.
Yeah, I mean, it also kind of accidentally makes it the perfect event book for coming back from a publishing hiatus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, even if you feel like you're just sort of out of the loop, that's by design with this book, so it's immune to the what just happened?
I don't know.
No, that was
I know.
Okay.
That was me playing off of it. Yeah, but yes.
Yeah. Who's on first?
What?
I don't know. Third base.
Oh, no. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
So, we've given people plenty of time to jump forward if they don't want to have number 1 spoiled. So, the Batman Who Laughs is dead.
Yeah, Batman Who Laughs. Wonder Woman chopped that boy in half. Yeah. And I don't know what I love most of the 3 things that are crazy and insane that happen on the very first page of this issue. I don't know what about it I like the most. I don't know if it's there's a loving character that we have in the Atom, who is now the Batum.
The Batum is very good.
I don't know if it's that he is disguised in a lizard suit running around the grass.
That is my favorite part of it, is his like lizard suit that he wears while he's tiny to not be caught.
Or that at the bottom of the page he just gets run over by a giant monster bat truck and killed.
Like a fly on the windshield.
Oh, hey, now that's later.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hell yeah, it is.
I know I said this last time, but it holds true here. I love that this feels more like a Wonder Woman story than a Batman story.
I do too. I like that a lot. In spite of everything kind of being, I mean, because even though our Batman is obviously still a good guy in this, like all the Bat theme stuff is kind of the villain in this, right?
Well, and on top of that, I think it's a smart choice for a couple of other reasons. One, so much of Snyder's time at DC is built around Batman.
Yes. Yeah.
That if this is sort of the end of that whole long road for him and him shifting into new gears, it kind of makes sense to pass the torch. But also, and I didn't think about this after the first issue, but I did after this one, if this were a Batman book, given the conflict between Batman and Wonder Woman here, it would be Last Night on Earth again.
Yeah.
But instead it feels like it's almost in conversation with Last Night on Earth, or an alternate possibility for Last Night on Earth.
Right, kind of an AU of, yeah.
Yeah. Like, we've dodged that future, but we have this worse future because of it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Can I just for a moment? I'm looking through the pages as we get. Can we just talk about the aesthetic that they've given Wonder Woman in this? Because damn, I love it.
Can we just talk about her hair? I know.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I know Jen is not here, and this feels like a conversation we really should have Jen here for.
Holy crap!
But the black to blue ombre is just the best.
Diana got that going on with that hair. I'm telling you, that is beautiful. Loving it. I like the speedster reunion that we get.
Yes, triple flash hug.
Triple flash hug. Okay, and then can we talk about what is definitely the most terrifying aspect of this book?
That Jonah Hex becomes the voice of reason?
No. I mean, that's no. And to say that isn't, that is its own comment, is it not?
Oh, you must be talking about, and boy howdy, if you haven't read this one yet, I'm gonna recommend you do if you plan on it before you keep going.
Yeah.
Would that be the brain transplant, Brian?
That would be the brain transplant.
With the 3 Alfred surgeons?
Yes. Alfred, yes. And can I just say the thought of a Dr. Manhattan Bruce Wayne scares the shit out of me.
Again, the technical name from the script page in the back is the Bat-Manhattan Who Laughs.
There you go.
Because they have taken the brain of the Batman Who Laughs, and transplanted it in a Dr. Manhattan.
And like, to be clear, when I said that before, I was talking about just like whoever he was before this happened, which was a Bruce Wayne who became Dr. Manhattan.
That's fair.
Yeah, like that in and of itself terrifies. The fact that you now have the Batman Who Laughs brain in this being, who apparently has all of Dr. Manhattan's powers. Oh, no.
And he now gets a new name, but more importantly, no longer has red text on black background speech bubbles.
Oh my God! Like that in and of itself.
Thank the lettering gods.
Yeah, that in and of itself was worth whatever transition they had to do, because that was so hard to read. Like, never ever make that choice again, comic.
It
comic
was
letters,
not
because
the worst on the old paper, but once they switched to that matte paper from the glossy, like there were issues where I'd have to like take pictures with my phone, just for the phone contrast to pick it up.
Yeah. Well, it was not uncommon. There, I know for a fact there were a couple of times where I put the camera on my phone and zoomed in just so it was big enough that I could.
It's like just there's just enough bleed in that matte paper.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, new text colors, and also now he's the Darkest Knight.
He is the Darkest Knight.
And he names a new deputy.
Yes, he does. The Robin King.
Crow.
So, who do we think this particular Robin is? Any thoughts?
I think if a Batman who laughs... Actually, I have changed my mind halfway through this sentence. I was going to say, I think if a Batman who laughs, we're going to pick a Robin to become his head Robin, like Jason Todd, right? The vicious one who's also smart.
That would make a sense, sure.
But then I realized, no, that's not who the Batman who laughs would pick.
Mm-mm.
Do you want to take a stab?
I think I think very much just the opposite. I think it would be Tim Drake or Dick Grayson.
I think there's an even better, more obvious answer. I think he's adopted a new orphan.
Oh.
Bruce Wayne from Crime Alley. What if his lead Robin were just another Bruce?
Which, you know what, makes total sense. Because he asks, he tells the Robin, tell me your story, child. And the Robin whispers whatever it is. And he's like, oh, my power is still weak. I could use a like-minded ally.
Yeah.
So maybe he finds out, oh, this is a Bruce Wayne. Perfect.
Because if all Robins are Bruce trying to undo his original trauma.
Right.
Well, why not do it literally?
Oh, boy. Yeah, that makes total sense, actually. I mean, I'll be honest, my gut reaction thought was going to be it's the Shazam, Billy Batson.
Billy Batson?
Yeah, but
I think that's also a smart guess.
Yeah, but yeah, this is, oh my god, so much fun.
Yeah, I love it.
And then Toy Master, boy, how has he stepped up his game, huh?
A real Zordon, that Toy Master.
I tell you what, man, one might say a Super Zordon. Wonder Zordon, I don't know. Yeah. Oh my god, the suits, like, if Darkest Nights was big dumb fun, this is ultimate big dumb fun.
Yeah, this is like big dumb fun, but also just big dumb fun and nowhere to go but up because the whole world is terrible. It can only get better or just die out entirely.
Or just end, yeah.
Yeah.
This is big dumb fun. Turn to 11.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of the end of the world.
Oh, sure.
DCeased Hope at World's End, number 5.
All right. So if you're keeping up with the DC stuff, you probably already know. Hope at World's End is the digital only release. I'm assuming they'll probably put it out in
It'll get a trade, yeah.
Yeah, at some point. But it's digital only, and it's coming out bi-weekly, and damn, it's just as good as all the other DCeased stuff.
Hey, Brian, you remember last week when we said the thing we really wanted to see more of in DCeased was Cassie?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they were reading our minds.
It's almost that way, if they hadn't have written it before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually before they leave Earth. So this is kind of a little story of right after Damian. So in the last issue, Damian took the mantle of Batman.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we talked about that one, but wow, was that moving? And that talk that Superman has with him.
Yeah.
Like super, super good stuff there. But Cassie finds John and says, I think Damian just stole the invisible jet. So the two of them go flying after him, and they're like, dude, you can't take the invisible jet. And he's like, I've got to go find my mom. I know she's in Gotham somewhere, so I've got to go. And they're like, all right, fine. Then we're going with you.
It's our first new Trinity team up.
And Cassie and John and Damian all go, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is right after... So actually, I guess Superman is not gone yet. So he's still Superboy at this point.
Yeah. Like, this is still set during the original DCeased.
Right. And I don't know, I don't know time frame wise if this is before or after Wonder Woman. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure at this point. No.
Wonder Woman went after Superman, didn't she?
Yeah, this is before.
So this has got to be before. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's Damian's the only one who has taken up his new mantle.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. But still super good. So yeah, turns out Talia is in a safe room, and in a vault, and they go and find her, and it's so good. Um, I, yeah, I don't know what to say other than just watching the three of these is it's so good. I love. There's one comment which is going to be my quote of the week.
Brian's quote of the week.
Yeah, where like I said, they arrive at the vault and Damien's like, if she's still alive, my mother will be in the panic room under the vault. And Cassie's like, all right, you stay back and we'll clear out the. And he just jumps in and starts throwing batarangs and bombs. And Cassie goes, he's kind of infuriatingly living up to that costume, isn't he? Yeah, he really is. Come on. Yes. And then we get a beautiful double page spread of the three of them.
I need to shout out the Kite Man cameo. As much as Tom King and Tom Taylor get mistaken for each other on the internet, I'm glad to see Tom Taylor finally take his swing at Kite Man, and I'm going to say knock it out of the park. He really connects.
He does really, yes. Hell yeah, I mean, oh no.
Oh, bother. Oh, that's not Charlie Brown, that's Winnie the Pooh. Close enough.
Yeah.
All right.
And then one more comment is, somebody who I was not expecting shows up here at the end.
Yes, right. I almost forgot about this. Thank you.
How could you forget about this? This is fantastic, and I love it. So, like, essentially, this was very definitely purposefully set up this way. Essentially, Damien has lost everybody in this.
Yeah.
The only person from the Bat family that we knew of that was alive, I guess other than Alfred, right, was Jason Todd. Right? Turns out there is someone else, and it's somebody else who now has basically, and Cassie, but Jason and Cassie are together.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we see spoiler.
Yes.
And Stephanie comes up and, like, is just super, super sweet to Damien, and then says, by the way, so if you're going to take this role of Batman, then you need the one thing that Batman always needs, which is the person that makes him not lose his mind to being Batman. You need a new Robin. And so she is in her old Robin costume.
I will say this, though. The fact that we have not seen her in the new DCeased series makes me very worried for her.
Yeah, a little bit. But, oh my God, I love it. Ah, so good.
Me
Great
too.
stuff.
Strange Adventures #3.
Wow, I think the wording I used before we started was, man, that Tom King really knows how to tap into the zeitgeist, doesn't he?
He does. Now, at that particular point in our pre-show note-making conversation, I asked Brian,
no,
did you hear about the new announcement?
I have not.
So DC announced a new book this week, a Black Label series from Tom King, Jorge Fornes, and Dave Stewart. 12 issues starting in October about what to do when you are full of anger because of the world and the political system around you, and how to make that productive, maybe? Brian, do you have any last-minute guesses before I send you the cover to this book?
Oh, hey, I want to ask a few questions to see if I can narrow this down a little bit.
All right.
So, is it somebody who is also a reporter of some sort?
What do you mean by of some sort?
Or broadcaster, like their alternate ego, potentially?
No.
Okay. Because my thought was potentially Creeper, Jack Ryder.
I would love, I'm going to put this one in the universe, Tom King, Creeper series.
Right?
Go nuts, man.
Oh boy, that's going to make this harder then.
I will say, I think you're thinking the right way.
Okay. It's obviously it's not going to be, well, and you said it's not a report, so it's not going to be Lois, because they just did a Lois.
Correct.
All right, you know what? Let's either give me hints or let's move on.
Okay, I will give you a hint here.
Okay.
It is not a character you're immediately going to think of when you think of DC continuity.
Is it a future or a past character, like from the future, or like Justice Society or like Legion type?
It is not.
Okay.
It is a character who has had one solo miniseries before.
Ooh, that definitely limits it.
And this is set 35 years after the character's original appearance.
Static Shock.
No.
Okay. Who else has had one series? Wow.
Been in one series, had one solo miniseries. The solo miniseries was, I think, 2012.
Oh.
But it was not a part of the New 52.
Wow. Okay. First of all, you're tapping into the hole in my knowledge. Second of all, wow. Not part of the New 52, but in 2012.
But you've definitely read the original series, and it uses a... Let me put it this way. Tom King's style is a good visual fit, given the original series visual style.
Is it a single character or a team?
Single character.
Oh, okay. So it's not him going back to like Omega Men or something like that.
It is not.
Okay.
I'm going to give you one more guess.
Okay.
I will also say this. It is a character based on an older character.
So it's like a reinvention of a character.
Yes. This character is the same character who's appeared since that original series, but this character is based on an older pre-existing character.
Did the older pre-existing character die?
It's comics. The pre-existing character has died.
Oh.
There is a legacy version of that character in the regular DC continuity.
It's not Adam, is it?
It's not. You're on the right track.
I was thinking Ryan Choi.
God, you're so close. I want to let you keep guessing.
A Vixen or golly, Gypsy vibe.
This is turning out to be a real test for you.
Oh, god damn it. I know that's a clue somehow.
Yeah, but you just can't spot it.
No, not the heckler. I'm thinking the spots now. My brain just went immediately there. Okay, who is it?
Check your text messages.
Oh, god.
I sent it 35 seconds ago.
Yep, no, I know. I've got to get out of the screen I'm on. Oh, my word.
It's Rorschach.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, I never would have guessed that.
I gave you all the clues.
Oh my god, you did.
Renee Montoya is currently around. Legacy version of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I honestly, I don't know how I feel about this.
I'm here for it. I have little enough attachment to Watchmen that I'm all for seeing what Tom King does with this. And the idea of a book about what to do with being angry right now.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
And I'm guessing this is probably going to be probably the Rorschach that we have seen in Doomsday Clock, right? I mean, I would almost think it has to be, right?
I think. Well, I don't know.
Unless it's a story, like a throwback to a during that time.
No, it's set 35 years after Watchmen, and the premise is that for the first time, someone is running against President Redford, and someone dressed as Rorschach shows up in an assassination attempt.
Okay. You know what? I don't hate this. Then, if it's set in the Watchmen universe and it's set that far after the events, I'm okay with this. This seems like a good way to reimagine and potentially carry. Because you're not trying to tell new stories with those characters, right?
Right.
You're telling a new story with a new character who is essentially using the inspiration of that legacy, which is what would have to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, that I can go with.
Yeah, and reading about it, I get the vibe, and I may be wrong.
Yeah.
But I get the vibe that it's not necessarily going to star Rorschach.
Yeah.
As much as be about this mystery involving Rorschach.
Okay.
Which I think that distance also helps.
Holy cow. I don't know, but I can tell you right now, I do absolutely love the aesthetic of this cover.
Jorge Fornes is a great pick for this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got a very, very noir styling to this.
Like, both noir and I think of, like, mass market pulp paperbacks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, so Strange Adventures number 3.
Wow. Super good. Yeah, okay, we'll throw it back.
I don't know if that was worth it for anyone listening, but it was for me. I had fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. That's amazing.
I did tweet at Mike asking him what he thought about it, and boy howdy is he torn in half.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I totally, and I get his feeling. I just expressed mine about it. Yeah. But yeah, Strange Adventures. Holy cow. For Mr. Terrific to be involved, there's a character in this who's not playing fair, is she?
No, she's not. She is, not very nice.
No. Here's the thing. I've always, to me, this is what I absolutely love about this. Tom King has like delved into my own personal headcanon about this character because
we're talking about Alana.
Alana, yeah. Adam's wife. I have always thought that she was kind of too pretty and too perfect and too much just and obviously in the 70s, a female character was a lot of times just written this way.
Yeah.
But she was just, the too perfect character that was just the attachment for him, right? But like for some reason in my head, I always thought that the reason she rules is because she is really actually secretly ruthless and awful, and man, has he pulled her into that.
That is actually really cool to hear because I don't know Adam Strange super well. So like getting that vibe is kind of at least there enough that it could be headcanon.
Yes,
like makes
absolutely.
me really appreciate that here.
Well, and it was always just a super subtle thing of she would make comments that, and maybe even at the time you wouldn't realize, like maybe if I went back and reread it now, it'd be a lot more obvious, right?
Yeah.
Just because we're so much more tuned into picking up on things that people say and how they say them.
Well, and also what would have been maybe stilted and of a style then would read now as something different.
Yes. Right? Exactly right. And yeah. Oh my God. So first of all, love that. Second of all, I can't say enough about how much I love these two distinct art styles and love both of them and love how much they work together to tell this story.
Yeah, and like I think there's something really clever in the way this issue is constructed using them because like I think the easy thing to do would be to say, okay, we're going to have present Adam and past Adam, yeah, his name is Adam.
Adam Strange, yeah.
Yeah. Present Adam and past Adam both in big fights that mirror each other. But the present Adam's big fight isn't so much a literal fight as much as trying to get word from any of his friends in the Justice League about what's going on with the investigation because he's become actually worried about it. Because Mr. Terrific has honed in on this one discrepancy about their daughter.
And here's the thing. Do you want my prediction for where this is actually going to go?
We'll see if it matches up with mine, yeah.
I think Adam is 100% innocent and above board, right? And I think we're going to find that Alana has duped him as well as...
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's I think certainly possible. I think like for sure their daughter is alive.
Yeah.
And is like a slave of the Pict or whatever. Because there is a point in here where Alana is speaking in a press conference and talks about how they've killed our family, they've killed our countrymen, they've taken our ... family.
Right.
And like it's very clearly like you don't think about it in the moment, but it's kind of written as she was going to say daughter. She was going to say they've taken our daughter.
Yes.
The way that Adam always talks about it, the way she always talks about it is that they've lost their daughter.
Right.
What Mr. Terrific picks up on is he reads that as they're saying she's dead, but I think maybe the extent to which we might be predicting it a little differently is I think Adam knows she's alive.
I don't disagree with that. Here's the thing. It's going to be a thing where Adam doesn't even realize his words are being misinterpreted.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when he's saying, yeah, our daughter is lost, like, he's thinking everybody kind of understands that he means, like, lost to them, not dead.
Right.
And it, like, doesn't even occur. Like, I think it's one of those things, it's almost like the paladin fallacy of you don't even conceive that other people would think you're being deceitful, so it doesn't occur to you that they might have misinterpreted it in a way different than what you mean.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And that's not to say Adam is, 100% above board, everything. I'm not saying that either, but clearly what he does in the arena demonstrates that. But I do think that he genuinely, and you hear this from the Justice League, and this is honestly where I'm getting a lot of this from, is they believe he's a good guy, and I think they would have, over the years, picked up if he was not.
Which is a really interesting statement to make, given, like, some of the things that are going on in the comics industry right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I could see, because, we're also, like, 3 issues out of 12 into this.
Yeah.
I could see, like, this evolving into some version of, do they really think he's that great, or have they overlooked enough things that if they actually stopped and questioned, would unravel?
Maybe.
Because, like, some of the conversations around, and I will leave it at just sexual predation.
Yeah.
From long-standing comics creators. People have said almost those exact same words, like, we always thought it was a joke, we knew this was a little weird, we never knew the extent of. But if we'd stopped and thought, maybe we would have seen.
Yeah, maybe so. Regardless, I think we're going to find out that, I guess in general what I'm saying is, I think we're going to find out Alana is much more the villain than he is.
It certainly feels that way in this issue.
Yeah. Man. And, oh, man, yeah, she's just awful.
I love Mr. Terrific.
I do too.
I always need 100% more Mr. Terrific than is ever in comics. There's never enough Terry Holt. Michael Holt. Sorry.
Michael I was going to say Terry. Yeah, Michael Holt. Yep.
Okay. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen, number 12. Jim Jiminy, Jim Jimphany Jury.
Yeah, wow. What a wrap up to this story. I was disappointed in one single thing about this issue.
Was it the fact that there was only one title card in it?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
I know you so well.
That is 100% what it was. But yeah, I love when he comes storming into the Daily Planet with, like, his sloppily packed luggage and holding Dexstar, and yes. Julie is with him, and his wife is, or I guess now ex-wife is with him, and
Jix.
Jix is with him, and like all of these people are around. Like, I just love it so much. It's so beautiful. It's so Jimmy, and yeah.
And he storms into the meeting where they're like, not storms into, but like crashes the meeting where they're announcing the Daily Planet is close. He's just like, what did I miss?
Yeah.
Sorry I'm late. What's up?
Yeah.
Guys? And then we learn many things about Jimmy that have been hinted at throughout the series.
Well, I guess first we get the resolution of Julian, right?
Well, that's true. We do.
Which is that Detective Corrigan, no, not that one, goes and confronts him with Jimmy and Janie, and they actually arrest him. And
I love Jimmy following in the UFO behind the cop car.
Yes.
So good.
So wonderful. I love. Can I say that I also love Janie's comment when they find out that literally all of the Olsen money is gone
about having to get a job?
Yes, and Jimmy's like, jobs are fine, jobs are fun. You get to go to Gorilla City a lot, and she's like, your job is fine, your job is fun. My job is the theater, and it's not fun. To rend a living theater of the common man from the. And she just stops and she's like, fine. Okay. I can write a play. I can write a resume.
Hey, here's a quick PSA. If you're working in theater and it's not fun, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yes, but the drama is definitely appreciated from a theater
Yes.
person, right? Yes,
Yes. But as
which is
someone who
100% what that was.
does professional theater work, if you're not having fun, something is wrong, and please investigate that.
Yes, it's either not for you, or you're not doing it at the right theater, or yeah.
Or the people who run that theater are being gross
what I mean.
and taking advantage. Yeah.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Now, can I tell you who has now turned out to be possibly one of my favorite characters and came out of the blue for me?
Is that Jimmy Olsen's new cousin?
It is not his new cousin. It is the person that works for his new cousin.
Oh, have mercy.
No, it's not. It's not Mercy.
Oh, it's not Mercy?
It's Tessmacher.
Oh, right.
Yes,
Miss Tessmacher.
it's Miss Tessmacher, who comes in and gives Jimmy the box that has all the proof that in their lines the Olsens and Luthers are commingled and they're now all related.
Yes. Jimmy is a cousin, and that means he gets a say over the Luther Trust, which requires all family members to approve expenditures.
Yes.
So Jimmy can now block anything Lex Luthor ever wants to do.
Yes. And can I tell you how, like, her reasoning behind it is like the great. He's like, why? Thank you, but why would you do this? And she's like, Lex Luthor has to have somebody to as a foil against him. He has to constantly have someone to distract and compete against. And while Superman provides that on a planetary or galactic basis, he needs someone like in his own personal world to do that. And now that you don't have a fortune, you can't compete against him anymore. So with this now, you can now all still be his personal foil.
Yeah. And Julian had been it, but now it's got to be Jimmy.
Right. And yeah, it's like, I can't tell you how much I love that whole premise. It's just beautiful.
It's so great. I love it.
Yeah.
And from what we've learned in October solicitations, DC, I think, is the only company to release theirs yet. But Jimmy's new job title at the end of this will actually carry forward into Action and Superman and everything
that's so
going
wonderful.
on there.
And then when Jimmy goes and confronts Lex and like tells him what the new situation is going to be, like her covering up a smirk in the background is just the best.
No, she is excellent.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Marvel. Avengers number 34.
Oh, this may be my favorite Avengers story ever.
So when we talked about 33, I don't think you were caught up yet. And you and I agreed, though, on one thing, that given what happens in 33, Moon Knight taking on a bunch of Avengers,
it
sounded a little bit like the last Avenger storyline in Captain Marvel.
Yep.
I think it's safe to say that number 34 adequately differentiates itself from that.
Yes. Boy, howdy, yes.
So this is not all about him sequentially fighting and beating the Avengers.
No.
So much as it's about him helping Khonshu transform Manhattan into New Thebes to prepare to fight a bunch of Mephisto's allies after the two of them do put a hole the size of Mjolnir in Mephisto.
Yes.
And grind him to dust and spread that dust through the cosmos.
Like the whole idea of what he does to him is just so beautiful. Like, first of all, the Mjolnir going through him is beautiful in and of itself, and then the fact that you see he has two Onks strapped to the front of Mjolnir, right? It's just like, oh damn. Yeah. And then the other one, which was the big, and this was actually last issue, and I don't think you specifically mentioned it, was we actually learned a piece of lore like big, huge Marvel lore that I don't think we knew before
And what is that?
about what Uru metal is.
Oh, yeah, no, I left that detail out last time because I didn't want to totally spoil that fight. But
Yeah.
it has been long enough now.
And that is that Uru metal, which is what Mjolnir is obviously forged from, is actually what is left over from the creation and essentially was the, left over and conglomerated, much like when the Earth was formed, say the moon is what was left over.
Well, I think it says explicitly it's like made of the same stuff of moons.
Yeah. So essentially it's the original moon rock.
Yeah.
Guess who has control over that?
The Moon Knight?
And his boss. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is wild, and I love this so much.
Oh my god! I tell you what is the other piece of this that is really, and God, it was almost kind of hard to watch, is the Black Panther piece of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we learned in 33 that, and Moon Knight walks away from fighting T'Challa in 33 because he really can't go through with just straight up killing.
Correct.
And that's the only way he's going to get the Black Panther's power.
The power of the Black Panther. Right.
And Moon Knight is now Khonshu's prisoner and being tortured regularly. Not Moon Knight, Black Panther.
Black Panther
is Khonshu's prisoner and being tortured regularly. That moment, though, where he breaks the chains and just starts taking on the guards is fantastic.
Yeah. So essentially, the two pieces that he kind of wants that he didn't get of power, in order to truly be prepared for whatever it is that's coming, right, is the power of the Black Panther.
Yep.
And the Star Brand.
And boy, howdy.
And the Phoenix Force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And boy, howdy, let me tell you, I would read an entire mini-series of Carol and Tony trying to raise this baby.
Yeah. We are not a family. Don't listen to her, Brandy. Mommy and Daddy love each other very much.
Also, I love that they call the baby Star Brand Brandy.
Yes. Like, everything about this is wonderful. It's the best of comics. It's great.
Jason Aaron, you mad genius.
Good God, I love this elevation of Moon Knight too.
Yes.
To this powerful of a character,
it's keeping in line with things we have seen, like the big spread of New Thebes City.
Yeah.
Brings to mind the Jeff Lemire run when Moon Knight was trapped in this hybrid city.
Mm-hmm.
It's so well executed in the writing and in the art, just every level.
Everything about this is wonderful.
Moving on, Captain Marvel, number 17. It's game night.
Wow, does that mean different things to different people?
Yeah. Oh, poor Kamala.
So, Carol is having game night, so she's invited some friends over. And that includes Hazmat and Spectrum and Spider-Woman and Wolverine.
Yep.
And Ms. Marvel, who shows up last.
Yeah, and it's a poker game.
After they're already in the middle of their poker game.
Kamala can't play poker.
Nope.
But she shows up with a bunch of board games, not knowing what game night means.
Right. That's the first piece of this is, the idea of Carol saying game night to all of them, instantly meant poker game, right?
Yeah.
And to Kamala means, Settlers of Takan and Pachisi and all of these off-name games.
I gotta say, I am with Kamala on this one, because when I saw that this issue was game night, my first thought was, yes, we're finally getting it. Miss Marvel and friends playing D&D.
Right, exactly. I love that it means different things to different people.
Yeah.
And that's where this starts, right? And then Kamala's like, you realize that poker is gambling. I can't gamble. Oh, right. She's like, well, it is kind of a gray area. So I guess if we're not playing for money, well, yeah.
So they do the next best thing. They go to an escape room.
Kamala makes a call. And what is escape room called? Do you remember?
No.
Escape from New Jersey.
Yes, that's right. I will say,
Which I love on so many levels.
like, I whiffed so much on just, like, minute-to-minute predictions in this book. As soon as the Nexus was mentioned, I went to the Nexus of all realities and was like, oh shit, here comes Howard the Duck!
Nope.
It was a great issue in which everything I thought was going to happen was wrong.
Immediately didn't, yes. So, yeah, they get in this escape room, and it turns out that the person that, this genius designer of escape rooms, which the only reason they got in is because Kamala dropped names of the Avengers.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Miss Marvel. My friends and I would like to come.
Yes. So, turns out that he is a narcissistic genius in designing escape rooms, and that he sees as his ultimate challenge the ability to actually create an escape room that the Avengers can't escape from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he thinks it'll be great publicity.
Right. So he does, and they have to like an escape room, they have to work together to actually get out of it. And then he's like, like that's pretty much it. I love it.
Yeah. He gets shipped off to the raft, and he's like, What? Why? I don't think this is necessary. Well, you did have basically the Avengers on the ropes. That's kind of a big deal.
Wait, I had them on the ropes? Really? You think so? And then we get back into the wheelhouse of, so how does Carol decide that what's a game they can all play that should wrap up the evening?
Trivia!
Bar trivia. To which all of the females know the answer to the trivia question that's asked, and they all answer at the same time. Captain America's butt! The answer is Captain America's butt!
We can never tell Steve about this.
And Logan, I love, like, they're all yelling that at the same time. It goes to the same word balloon. And Logan's is just off to the side. Captain America's butt. I love it.
It is a delight. And, like, I think it's a good breath of fresh air. Because I think the next issues are going to be Empyre tie-ins, and I think that's going to get heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a very wonderful breather issue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of Empyre.
Oh boy.
So, scale of 1 to 10, how much is this not what we expected it to be?
I'm going to go with about an 8.
Yeah, like, there are points in this issue where it starts to telegraph, and I'm like, oh, okay. The Kotati are going to end up being evil in, like, issue 5. Got it.
Right, yeah.
No, it's not going to be in issue 5.
Or, maybe issue 1. Could be issue 1.
Hey, well, we'll get to a couple of predictions in a minute.
Okay.
So, the question that we never asked, that none of the Avengers ever asked, that none of the Fantastic Four really asked.
And this baffles me a little bit, yeah.
Which, and here's this is getting to the heart of what I love so much about this, and this is so much like, okay, yes, this is Al Ewing and Dan Slott working together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the kind of thing they pull off. What if there's actually a good reason for the Kree and the Skrull to unite?
Yeah.
What if doing that is right, and Teddy has good reason for this, and isn't just being manipulated?
So, like, to me, when you said, the question they didn't ask, my question is, oh, so they showed you something that made you think you had to do this. The question, what was it they showed you?
Right, I mean, in the moment, that very specifically becomes the, guys, why are none of you asking this?
Right, yeah. And I absolutely love, because if you stop for half a second and think, the answer is very obvious, and that is, well, we're the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. Of course we know what's best.
Right.
And we know what's going on.
It reminded me so much, actually, of Justice League.
Yes, I thought the same thing, yes.
Like
you're
somewhere
so
there's Wonder Woman
to...
being like, can we just ask what Teddy saw?
Oh my god. Yeah. We literally had the exact same thing in my D&D game yesterday where it was, oh, okay, we're here. We got to fight the white dragon that's at the end of this dungeon that we've been going through. Da da da. And then halfway through the fight, like the dragon like walls herself off and is like, okay, you've proven yourself worthy. Can we just talk? And like some of us at the beginning were, maybe we should just talk to the dragon. Turns out we were supposed to talk to the dragon.
I miss our D&D game where we like de-escalated and negotiated through every conflict.
Yes. Everything was like, no, do we have to fight? Can we just talk this out? Yeah.
I'd really rather not. I don't want a reputation. I'm a big scary bugbear.
Yeah.
I don't need this on me. Let's just talk, guys.
Yeah.
So the
this is how stereotypes happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Kotati are in the process of a ritual to open a giant flower that will give them control over, let's just say the green. We'll just shorthand it to the green.
Yeah, that's good. That's fair.
All plant life.
The green of the Marvel Universe, yeah.
Yeah. All the rations aboard the Skrull and Kree fleets. All
the
of
dirt that's on their shoes and
yeah, greenery on Earth. I'm presuming like stuff in people's stomachs even.
And did you notice that included a lot of, I'm guessing seeds or dirt or soil that were in the cracks of thing?
I did notice that.
Ugh.
I also know that X-Men ties into this, which did not make a lot of sense to me.
Oh, hello, Krakoa.
Seeds of Krakoa. Now that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh shit. Like, your whole new nation that you have done everything to create like this is plant-based.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Apparently it's not easy not being green.
Not right now, it's not.
Which brings me to, they've totally replaced She-Hulk with a plant person, right? Like, they at one point escort Jennifer away to be like, hey, let us help you. And she comes back and she's like, yeah, I've got all my power, but full control, and I no longer speak like a Hulk. It's great. She is a plant person, and
the reason for this is this hammer, this maul that they've given her, right?
Yeah.
That's made of this metal that allows her to focus and whatever.
Which looks a lot like Ronan's hammer.
The accuser,
very like Kree accuser.
Very much so. And very clearly, you are absolutely right, because one, like when she comes out and she has her big reveal and all that and says all this, and then the very next panel, her face is like half shadowed as she says, honestly, I feel more alive than I have in years. To which Thor, who has been dating her, right? Replies, well, good. Like, he knows something is up. He doesn't know what it is, I don't think, but yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there's also a line that Koi has at one point when he's talking to the Avengers about defending them from the Kree and the Skrull, to the effect of, oh, you'll all earn our place among us. You will be heroes among us.
Yeah.
Here it is. When this day is done, there will be a place reserved for you here in our garden forever.
Yes. Yep. I guess the first one to join that in the garden forever was Jennifer, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. So this clearly is what the Kotati meant by the Celestial Messiah.
Yeah.
Right? Is their deliverer from what they view as oppression and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're taking the fight to Earth to begin their empire.
Yikes.
Yeah.
This is not what we thought it was going to be.
And I love it. I love it for it.
I do too.
That then takes us to Fantastic Four number 21. Which picks up from the scene in Empire where Reed and Sue send Franklin and Valeria to Earth with the child Kree and Skrull warriors who we saw in Empire Fantastic Four 0. And simple enough job, right? Like, it's time to head back to Earth and we're gonna hang out on Yancey Street. Well, two things happen. One, there is a cult of basically Kotati worshipping priests who see that the ritual is happening, that it's time to perform some sort of ritual. Which we learn in this issue is killing those 2 kids.
Oh.
And also those 2 kids can't stop fighting and end up crashing the the spaceship, into buildings in Yancey Street and crash landing. They keep fighting, so Valeria does something that is her remembering that, sometimes the smartest thing you can do is ask for help. And 2, using, I guess, the same device that Reed used in some other Kree and Skrull conflict to summon a bunch of heroes mentally to come help. And the 2 we see in this are Wolverine and Spider-Man. If you've ever wanted to see Spider-Man swinging through New York with Wolverine tucked under his arm, a la Amazing Fantasy number 15, this is the issue for you. And this ends with that group of cultists there on Yancey Street trying to take down the 2 kids.
Can I tell you, this just hit me as you were talking, who that young Skrull and Kree remind me of?
Who?
They remind me of Damien and Jonathan in Super Sons when they would fight with each other.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
We also get a good deal of Alicia and Skye in this. They are here.
Oh, good.
And I am very happy to see them.
Yeah.
There's a great scene where Skye's like, oh my god, they're aliens too. There are 4 alien species?
Wow.
Alicia's like, I should have left you at the apartment, shouldn't I?
Yep, there's 4. Plus
a
couple billion others. I don't know.
4, give or take a few dozen, 100. Spider-Woman number 2, Brian.
Oh, yeah. So we find out what is behind Spider-Woman's new illness. And while, the person that's behind it may think that they have justification, man, is it still wrong.
Yeah, this issue made me kind of uncomfortable.
It's
supposed to?
It is, exactly.
Yeah.
That was my point. I don't want to say I can't say in a good way, right? But from a storytelling point of view, in a good way.
It's about men who are convinced they know what is best, taking control of a woman's autonomy over her body for scientific or medical reasons.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Super, super wrong and uncomfortable. But, yeah.
But also, this fucking world.
Yeah, exactly. But Jessa, once she finds out what truly is going on, she's like, okay, I'll help because, it may affect her son as well.
Yeah. So this guy's daughter has the same cancer Jessica had, and so he has stripped her of the powers that kept it at bay, so that he could test drugs on her.
Right.
And uses the fact that her son might also have it as leverage.
Yeah, there's a super, I think you need to know that Jessica, essentially, her current powers come from 2 different things. One is a serum that was given to her mother when she was in utero, right? Which gave her kind of a lot of her powers, right? But then when she was born, she had this cancer and was going to die. And her dad did further experiments on her and found out a way to basically to give her regenerative powers and to increase and augment her powers in a way such that she was stable, in other words.
Yeah.
Right? That she would not die. And so this person stripped that second half away in order to put her in the same position that his daughter is in so that they can test on her and find recreate the cure.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was very much amused by, the earlier scene in this book where she has headed to Night Nurse's office and Rhino is wrecking the place because he wanted some ointment. And he, grabs Jessica and squeezes so hard that she radioactive vomits in his face, and that is what takes him out.
Yes.
That was super gross, but delightful.
Yes. And Night Nurse is just the best in this.
Yeah, between this and Hawkeye Freefall, I am so happy with the amount of Night Nurse we're getting right now.
Yes. Yeah. You do have a nasty rash, but you need a different kind of clinic for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then after Jessica vomits on him, she's like, okay, great. Now he's actually hurt and I have to do something to fix him.
Yeah.
Damn Hippocratic Oath.
Uh,
It's beautiful.
Yep. Moving on to X-Men Land. Giant size X-Men Magneto.
This is 100% a self-contained story. I think there's going to be something coming out of it, like in a little bit in an ongoing. But
yeah,
like,
I mean, it's true of this. It's true of Nightcrawler, and it's true of the Jean Grey, Emma Frost giant size issues. I assume it's going to be true of the rest of them too. That like
I would think so. Yeah.
Each of these reads as standalone, but I think definitely you're right that each of these is seeding parts of plot lines that will come.
Yeah. So essentially, long and short is Emma asks Magneto to set up a Sentinel Island for her, where there is this new large-scale habitation building that has like the Sentinel face on it. We don't exactly know why yet, but this whole story is him going to the island, procuring the island, and building this thing. And then at the end, grows a gate. Emma comes through and she's like, "Oh, it's perfect. I'm going to invite people here and see who shows up." And that's from that side of the story. That's all you. That's the seed that's planted, right?
Yeah.
What actually is the meat of this story is the fact that the island is owned by Namor, and that in order to allow Magneto to purchase it from him, Namor asks that he go with him on this mission to find these missing explorers, and so they do.
Yep.
And
it's always Kraken. It's always a fucking Kraken.
It's always Kraken. And much like Indiana Jones, don't pick the obvious choice.
Nope.
That you're presented. Think beyond the. Yeah.
I'm glad you also went to Indiana Jones with that.
Yeah. Now here's the question that I have: what the hell do you think that's a key to?
Namor's heart.
Somehow, oh my god! Somehow Magneto having the key to Namor's heart is just absolutely brilliant to me. I mean, obviously that's not it, but damn, I love that thought. Oh my god. Yeah. But yeah, because obviously that's gonna come back at some point.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
We also had this week the X-Men Free Comic Book Day issue, which does double duty. The first half of it is a prologue to Ten of Swords. It starts out in some forgotten place, some forsaken time, with 4 characters who we have not seen before in any of the X-Men books, although if you read Marvel's marketing, you know that they are characters who are in Ten of Swords, part of a group of characters, and there's more in that about who they are, but I'm not going to say it here because I don't want to spoil it.
Okay.
Although I think, here's an X-Men pun, the seeds of who they are definitely in this issue. They open a gate from this void and summon this root-like tendril, and then they cut to Otherworld, at Saturnine's palace, where she does a tarot reading. And we see a series of 5 tarot cards, one called Judgment, which shows Apocalypse and... Remember the issue of X-Men where we saw the other half of Krakoa?
Yes. Yeah.
And there was like a solid white woman there who looked kind of like Black Swan.
Yeah,
from
Cyclops and Cable and who? Phoenix? Rachel? Was it Rachel? Went.
I think you're right. It's been a minute.
Yeah. And it was like the other half of Krakoa coming back to it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first card is Judgment, which is the 2 of them surrounded by these amethyst obelisks. The second card is the 4 of Wands, and the art on it is these 4 figures in very Egyptian garb at war with other shadowy figures. I'm going to guess Horseman, perhaps?
Horseman. Yeah, the 4 Horsemen makes sense, right?
The third card is the Hanged Man, which shows Apocalypse, Beast, Havoc, Gambit, Glob Herman, another character who actually I can't place. She has shoulder-length hair and is in a purple shirt with an orange stripe across it.
I'd have to see it.
And Archangel, Polaris, and Banshee, heading away from those same 4 purple obelisks. The 8 of Cups, which is split down the middle with a pair of figures I don't think we've met before. And the final card shows... Huh?
The 10 of Swords?
Yes, I was gonna say 10 figures holding swords.
Yeah.
But yes, it's the 10 of Swords. The 5 who are in focus are Kid Cable, Apocalypse, Wolverine, Magic, and Betsy.
Okay.
The second half of this has nothing at all to do with X-Men.
Oh.
It is a conversation between Iron Man and Pepper Potts. As first there's an earthquake in New York, then anything electrical dies out, including Iron Man's suit while he's flying, and the elevator that Pepper is in trying to get to the Stark Tower bunker. And ends with things not looking great for Iron Man. I'll leave it there. Before we cut to a title card. Where were you when the lights went out? Dark Ages. A Saga of the Marvel Universe, Fall 2020. Writer, Tom Taylor.
Oh, God.
This is already confirmed to be out of continuity, and it sounds just like, what does the Marvel Universe look like if there's no power?
Oh, my God. Tom Taylor doing another beautiful world creation of end-of-the-world type stuff.
Yeah. The theme for today is
God.
my springing things on Brian that he doesn't know about yet.
I'm super excited about that one.
Yeah.
As much as I love DCeased and what he's doing there right now, man, I can't wait for this one either. Oh.
Yeah. There is another Marvel Free Comic Book Day issue coming out this week. Spider-Man Venom.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it still good? Once and Future, number 9. How do you hunt a hunter like... Oh, fuck. What's his name?
Craven?
Beowulf.
Oh, Beowulf.
6 1/2 dozen. How do you hunt a hunter like Beowulf? Explosives, pretty much.
Okay.
Brian, tell me about Aquaman 61.
Wow, bet you were expecting a wedding, weren't you?
A lot of people were.
A lot of people were.
Catwoman number 23, Brian.
Let's see. Selena goes to an island nation and gets distracted from the business she was there for.
Harley Quinn, Black and White and Red number 4. This issue is Tim Seeley and Juan Ferreira. I also want to shout out last week's issue, which was Saladin Ahmed and Javier Rodriguez. This series has been a very pleasant surprise so far. Number 3 is very much a take on the classic Batman How I Got Him story, but talking about Harley Quinn. And in number 4, Harley enters a rap battle to win a cassette tape of the Joker rapping so she can embarrass him with it. If you are not reading this book, you probably should be.
Yeah. Is this a digital?
It is.
Okay.
They have said there will be a print release of it, like an issue. I think they've said they'll even do like collected issues at some point.
Yeah.
But
a lot of the digital ones that DC does, they end up putting out in trade. Yeah.
I will say this is one of the digital series that is designed and laid out for tablet.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd wait for a print issue unless you really wanted to. I like this in the format it's...
You know what would be super cool? I don't know if they'll do it, but you know what would be amazingly cool?
What?
Is if they released this, because it's clearly designed this way, if they released this in the same format that Barrier came out in.
What DC has done in the past when they've released these that are like landscape orientation, basically, is they just stack 2 pages vertically.
Okay.
So that they form one regular comics page.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're publishers are their printers already set up to run the way they run. It's
Yeah.
more cost effective.
But you
I'm
see
sure.
why I say
Oh
that
yeah,
barrier
no,
would
absolutely.
be cool. Yeah.
I'm just saying they won't.
I know. Yeah, fair enough.
Also, Harley Quinn Make 'em Laugh, number 3, which I'm pointing out just because this is Mark Russell writing a Harley Quinn book. Why are you not reading it? In this issue, Harley provides therapy to Batman's rogues, which means they can start beating him because they're not as predictable. In Mark Russell fashion, that gets Harley thrown in Arkham, not for doing anything illegal, just for being inconvenient. Justice League number 49, Brian.
The Justice League continues to learn that they don't know best.
Wonder Woman might. Wonder Woman's got a pretty steady hand on this.
Wonder Woman's got a good idea. Yeah. Wonder Woman is by far the best character in this arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man number 44. Spider-Man has a series of bad dreams. No, Siri, I didn't mean you. Conan, Battle for the Serpent Crown, number 3. Conan and his thief accomplice track down the Serpent Rod in Wakanda and fight yet another person in a cat costume. Guardians of the Galaxy, number 4. The Guardians fight the Guardians, and it doesn't look good for the Guardians. The Immortal Hulk. Did I say that right? I think I said that right.
Murder Hulk.
It's right on the line there, but I'm going to live with that take. Number 35, the Demon Hulk. Sorry, nope, the Devil Hulk. That's what he's called. The Devil Hulk is still chained up, despite Bruce and the Hulk, who is Hulk, trying to break him out together, while Mr. Fix-It is really shitty toward Betsy. Betsy or Betty? Ross. Betsy.
Ross.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Betsy.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Strike Force, number 8. Angela leads the team through a series of negotiations that end at the broken Black Bifrost and her mother. Venom, number 26. This is the beginning of the Venom Beyond arc, and one might say that it is the ultimate Venom story. They go to the ultimate universe.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this whole thing is going to lead to something that just doesn't matter. I think it's all going to be null and void.
I know what you did there. I expect that of me, Brian. Heist or How to Steal a Planet, number 6. Hey, maybe make sure that no one has leverage over your sniper.
Oh, shit.
All right. We have no long box to report on this week, but
not this week.
As promised, we will be doing one next week. So, Brian, roll that beautiful long box footage.
All right. The choices laid before me are Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, number 14, from January of 1990, or The Brave and the Bold, Volume 1, number 171, from February of 1981. I think there's a very clear choice here that fits more in the spirit of Longbox, and I will be taking The Brave and the Bold, number 171.
You're saying a 30-year-old comic about D&D from probably the middle of an arc is not as good a fit
as a 40-year-old random Batman team-up book with God only knows who for what? Yeah, I'm saying that.
Okay, that's fair enough. I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Now, there is always door number 3. Are you sure you don't want a door number 3 option, Brian?
I am 100% positive that I do not want a door number 3 option. I am going to stick with something that is known. I am going to take a quick look at this book and see who it is. Ooh, oh yeah. See, now knowing who it is with Batman in here, I am 100% certain I made the right choice.
Can I make just a wild guess in the dark?
Do you want me to tell you the title of it?
I'll make a guess, and then you can tell me the title,
okay.
And I'll make a second guess. You can
you
visit a little vengeance upon me.
You will not guess it, but go for it.
I am going to guess that this is a team-up between Batman and Mr. Mix-It-Spitlick.
That is incorrect, sir.
I'm shocked.
It is called A Cannon for Batman. And it has Batman strapped onto the front of an old-timey, like, Western cannon.
Is this a team up between Batman and Batlash?
No, that would have been a very good guess, however. But you're thinking definitely in the right direction here.
Who is it?
Think. Okay, wait. I'm going to give you one more guess after I give you another clue, and then I'll let you know. You are on the right track in that Batlash is of a certain type of character. Think of traditional us versus them conflicts that would have been around in that time, and this person would be from the other side of that conflict. Did that make any sense at all?
It does.
Okay.
Who is the name of the phenomenally racist caricature of a Native American from the Super Friends?
It is not. God, what was his Big Engine Joe or something like that?
You know what? The more we guess, the worse it's going to get. So we're not
Yeah,
going to
no.
guess.
It's Scalp Hunter.
I prefer
Batman
Beard Hunter, thank you.
and Scalp Hunter, yes. So we will.
There's no way this goes well. There's no way that this might be more racist than that issue of Tarzan.
I tell you what, here's what we're going to do. I am going to read it, and if we deem that this is probably not a good choice, then I will go with the other option to actually present on the show, and we always reserve that right.
I feel like if you've got to pivot on it, though, you have to pivot into Dorsey.
Oh, I don't think so. I'm telling you, I will never choose Dorsey again.
Okay.
Ever.
Hey, it worked well for me. I don't know what your problem is.
Yeah, you remember what I got. That will never happen again.
Well, next week's books to read. So if you are reading along with us, next week you want to read Umbrella Academy. We're going to talk about all 3 volumes. The story is by Gerard Way. The art is by Gabriel Ba. Colors in volumes 1 and 2 are by Dave Stewart, and in 3 are by Nick Filardi. Letters are by Nate Piekos. We also have some picks for next week, which I'm sure we'll talk about in a couple of weeks. Chew number 1. CHU, not CHEW, but it is in the same universe. Chewniverse, if you will.
The Chewniverse.
This is the beginning of a new series of mini-series following other members of Tony's family. Brian, tell me about Die number 12.
This is the Jamie, the Kieran Gillen book that is, grown up D&D. We've talked about it before, and it's we're getting back into after our first arcs. I think this is like the second one in this new arc, and I can't wait. I'm so excited.
You just can't hide it. Starting to lose control, and I think you like it.
I do like it very, very much.
Well, I like very much Horizon Zero Dawn, and the free comic book day issue of that is out next week. So you bet your ass I am getting it.
Of course you are.
And finally, Brian.
Yep.
A book that forever will struggle in sales numbers and must have our support.
Right.
But we are both very excited for this issue. I almost put it on my list, and then I knew you would because you're
fair
an
enough.
easy target.
I am.
Batman number 95.
Yeah, it's the start of the Joker War, right? Gotta have this.
Yep.
Yeah. Glad this is getting here and finally starting.
Yeah. A couple of. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say super quick on that same note, we were talking last week about Empyre and how we were just ready for number 1.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I having actually gotten number 1 here this week, it was so. Well, if they had stretched this out anymore, it would have started upsetting me.
Yeah.
It was so good to get it and it made it so much better.
And I will say this at the risk of a minor spoiler. They have shown a design for a new bat suit that is a variant cover to Batman 100. And this will probably prove to be a divisive opinion, but boy howdy, I am here for this suit. I think it is amazing.
Okay.
Before we outro, a couple of quick programming notes. 1, for the foreseeable future, we are going to skip Dynamite books.
Yeah.
They have aligned themselves with some creepy folks in recent hiring and publishing choices, and in support that some of their higher ups have given to some pretty bigoted voices in the comics community. If you are a creator working there because you still need the money, need the insurance, are on contract, we see you, we get you, you're good.
Yeah, no problem with you.
Certainly there are creators who have already said that they are stepping away at the end of contracts they're currently on, who won't be doing more work with them. We may individually still read actually some of those books and show support for those creators who aren't a part of the problem, but we are not going to be talking about Dynamite for the foreseeable future. But if you are listening and are one of those creators who is stepping away to do other things or want to promote other projects so you can, get at us. We'd be more than happy to have you on to talk about. Help make that easier for you to do.
Yeah.
The other programming note, we have a YouTube channel now. It's just going to be the same thing as our podcast feed for the time being. But if you would rather consume it there, you are more than welcome to. And hey, if you just want to go in and subscribe and like stuff, we're not going to turn you away for that either. But we are there. I don't know if at some point we'll add other content that's not just episodes, and I will try over time to go back and add in some previous episodes too. But we wanted to try something new, and that's it.
Yeah.
YouTube. It's the wave of the future, said someone 15 years ago.
15 years ago, right? Yeah.
Anything else you want to add, Brian?
No, I think we've just about covered it.
Cool. We would like to thank Chase Parker for our intro voiceover. You can also visit us at panelologypodcast.com, support us on Patreon at patreon.com/panelology, get merch at bit.ly/panelologymerch, capital P, capital M, or send us questions, comments, or whatever else at bit.ly/panelologymailbag. Again, capital P, capital M. I'm Alex.
And I'm Brian. Go read comics this week.